I want to welcome you today to today's webinar with Andrew Gluck, and thank you for attending. Webinar is entitled Generating New Business and Gaining Efficiency from Your Website. And we're super excited to have Andrew on the line with us to share with you some of all of what he's been working on, all the exciting things over at Advisor Products. And as you well know, we have a great relationship with Advisor Products that we're going to explore a little bit more as we go. And I wanted to let you know that you are in listen-only mode right now, but I wanted to let everybody know that feel free to chat in a question at any time during, and I'll try to just stop the presentation and ask the question to Andrew on your behalf, and anything we don't get to during the presentation we'll simply address at the end. So without further ado, Andrew, I'd like to turn it over to you and to get started here.
Great. So it looks like everybody's seeing my screen. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for that, Rob. It's always good to be with you. Rob and I go way back, and it's really nice, the fact that we're actually friends and do business together. It's great. So thank you all, and this partnership is important to me. Because of our personal relationship largely, and also because I think it's really going to help advisors. I mean, the stuff that Rob and I are doing together, it's going to take client communications and sharing of portfolio reports to a new level. So let me get right into it. I mean, there are a couple of things that I'm really going to focus on today that are really important, but I'll try to touch on some of these other ideas really fast. And I encourage you to please, while I'm talking, Rob, please feel free to interrupt me if you have a question. And from the audience, if you have a question, I really, I won't mind if you stop me, and because I know this subject well.
Yeah.
So please feel free. Thank you, Rob. Okay, so I just want to say, look at this. This is amazing to me when you look at what's going on. All of a sudden, the number of patents in the U.S. just like flies in the last, couple of decades, the last few years. It's amazing. And, the adoption of new technology is just, it's massive what's going on. The change in, the speed of change in our society and the adoption of masses of these new innovations is astounding. I mean, we indeed live in interesting times. The old Chinese proverb is actually a curse. and we are cursed to live in a time that is extremely interesting in that we have smartphones, camera phones, tablets, all in the last few years. These things, instant search, map navigation, free college degrees online. And it's causing major disruption throughout the economy. And I'm talking about things like Eastman Kodak, a 137-year-old brand name, filing for bankruptcy earlier this year. Blockbuster, which was just a few years ago in every community, gone. People no longer buy records and tapes. They copy music. It's turned the music industry upside down. Look at what Amazon has done. Borders went out of business. So, newspapers are dead or dying. Drugstores are threatened now. And, everybody is feeling these changes. If you don't think that disruption is going to happen to advisors, I'm sorry, but I think you're just fooling yourself. A few years ago when you walked into we all probably went through this, I know I did, when you would walk into an airport, you would see those kiosks and, curse and say, I'm not doing that, I want personal service. Now, here we are just, a few years later, and most people walk directly over to the airport kiosk to get their tickets. Huge change. It used to be that, a decade ago or so, people, I know Schwab really pushed the idea that there were 3 kinds of clients: do-it-yourselfers, which went directly to Schwab; validators, who went usually to advisors; and all-out delegators. And advisors thought that they were going to be safe because there was always going to be delegators. But the trouble is that just as people have grown to accept airline kiosks, they've grown more comfortable using the web for financial services. The web has simply gotten better at it. And look at the competition that you're up against. I mean, it's a bit of a scary story, I must say. You're up against all of the major custodial firms are actually getting better and better at competing with you. And they have huge marketing budgets and know how to do this stuff correctly. And I'm not saying that all of the custodians are going to stab advisors in the back and steal their clients. But what I am saying is, though, that be mindful that these companies have an obligation to do what's best for their shareholders. So if the market's going to force them to create better applications for validators and for do-it-yourselfers, they're going to do that. And that invariably means that some of the delegators are going to move into the do-it-yourself and validator category. The other thing that's going on is there are all these free tools now that you're competing with. And again, a lot of advisors say, oh, my clients would never do this stuff. But increasingly, these kinds of things like Mint, which is owned by Intuit now, a company that makes QuickBooks and has plenty of consumer experience. I wrote about this company called Wealthfront, which is a Silicon Valley company that's funded by the former founder of Netscape, Mark Andreessen, and the former president of PayPal, Jeff Jordan. Its CEO is a Stanford University professor and a successful venture capitalist. And what are they doing? They're using modern portfolio theory and ETFs. And what is really kind of scary for advisors, I think, is that it's free to individuals with less than $25,000. And for those with more than $25,000, it's 25 basis points. And it's one of about a half dozen apps that are doing this right now. Maybe there are more by now. In the meantime, advisors are facing fee compression because of all this. And this is in October, just an October 2012 Kiplinger's personal finance story entitled "When to Replace Your Financial Advisor." And it's an example of the transparency that's now widespread on the internet, because what all of these apps are doing is forcing a new kind of transparency. That's what the web is all about. So this article tells the story of a 65-year-old woman named Donna Shaw, who says that over the past 11 years she paid $100,000 in fund expenses and advisory fee. And she wrote a Dear John letter to her advisor and fired him. But take a look at what the story recommends. That's real interesting. What it recommends is switching horses. What Cheryl Garrett of the Garrett Planning Network, an advisor, says is building a retirement portfolio is like building a house. It's a lot of work up front, but once it's built, all you need to do is clean it. And Garrett recommends that this woman, Donna, discuss her options with Schwab or Vanguard. And then she could start courting local fee-only advisors and pick one who's willing to meet with her occasionally to review the assets and asset allocation, but who won't demand that she pay a percentage of her assets. So that's what I'm talking about when I say fee compression is coming to the advisor world. And the number of delegators, meanwhile, is shrinking. And there are powerful forces working against you. And what you're going to need to do, I believe, is really use technology to be more efficient and productive. Technology has changed enormously over the last few years. We went from 5 or 10 years ago to being, it was very simple. You needed a CRM, a portfolio reporting system, and maybe financial planning application. And there was this idea that anybody that could build all three of those in one would have a silver bullet. I actually coined that phrase, calling it the silver bullet, about 13, 14 years ago. But then what happened was that imports came about. And by imports, I mean you could take your portfolio or reporting data from your desktop and move it over to a CRM, move it over to a financial planning system. Now, what you've got is that data is flowing seamlessly from one application to the next. And what that represents is a new kind of silver bullet. And it allows advisors to pick best-of-breed applications that they want. So, you know, what I'm excited about what I'm doing with Rob is he's focused just on building the best portfolio management software that he could build. I'm focused just on building the best client-facing, client presentation application that can be built. And you know, and you can choose what you want to use. You could pick the best of breed because now all these applications can integrate with each other using application programming interfaces. So now the other thing that we're seeing is there are all these new apps that are joining up. You know, there's rebalancing, there's account aggregation, all of these additional apps, and the data is all moving between them. But there's something missing, something very important that's missing from that picture. You know what it is? Clients. It's ironic, but that's really the missing picture. And that's why, you know, 5 years ago, we rolled out something that we call the client portal. It was way ahead of its time. And the term, unfortunately, has since been co-opted and kind of like ruined by tech vendors because they call everything a client portal. So like financial planning apps that give you your financial planning reports, they call what they have when your client looks it up a client portal. Portfolio reporting apps call what they have a client portal. But really the definition of a portal is you're bringing in data from a lot of different pieces, from many places, and that's what we've been working on. That's what we offer with our systems, is a new application that is neither, you know, it's not a CRM, it's not financial planning, it's filling in these cracks that exist for advisors. And it's doing, and we're doing something very specific, and we're seeing more of these kinds of apps that do this. But the bottom line is that it's created a whole new way of doing business. So instead of the old way of, you know, you mail out reports, now you're going to send reports out to clients electronically, and they're available day to day, every day. Now you're going to be able to display completed work for clients to view. Now, you know, it used to be that you would, if you wanted your client to send you 1099, you would have to call him and ask him. And then, of course, he would ignore you. Now you can assign a client a to-do. So all of the old ways of doing things are being replaced with new ways. The other thing that's going on is because of the web, sharing documents, sharing your workload, sharing your work product is becoming much more important. And so that's really part of building trust. And the more that you can tell clients and prospects, this is how we operate, this is our way of doing business, the more they will trust you. And that's, I think, really key. You know, this whole debate about being a fiduciary that's been going on in the industry, I think, it's about trust. But in order to inspire trust, you need to be transparent. And in order to be transparent, You need to constantly communicate with your clients and show them what you're doing for them. And that's what Advisor Vault and our client portal system is doing. So, you know, when you look at what Advisor Vault is doing with AssetBook and other apps, you know, the data now is automatically ported from a client vault by AssetBook. So you don't have any more printing, you don't have collating, you don't have to worry about mailing. What I'm hearing is that is cutting many hours of work every quarter for firms. We've heard this over and over from our clients that have moved to this.
Yeah, and Andy, could I chime in just for a second, just to validate
Please.
what you're saying here? This relationship that we've built with you, it is a automatic delivery of client reporting information as well as any of the AssetBook reports that are available to run in AssetBook. The data after reconciliation every day, and I just want to make sure you understand that after we reconcile it and your database administrator gives the green light, so to speak, this data gets ported out to the client vault so that when your client comes in, they're looking at current information, current holdings, current performance information. That is flexible in terms of what you choose to share with your client. You don't have to show client's performance if you don't want to, and it's very flexible in that way. And equally as powerful is your ability to run reports either on a one-off basis or in a batch and simply drop them automatically in each client's vault. And when that happens, they're going to get an email from you that's going to notify them that that has happened. So you think about this, your entire reporting process. You run your batches. It could be every client in the database. They go out to the vault automatically, at least everybody that has a vault. And then the client automatically gets an email letting them know that the document is there, and then they simply have to click the link. They click the link to that document, and then they log back into the vault, and they're looking at their quarterly report, or they're looking at a tax document that you happen to send over to them. This is very powerful. Nothing like this. You know, this is the most powerful kind of email mass related functionality that we've been able to incorporate into our product. And Andy is right. I mean, it's saving tons of time. Advisors that are using this vault are raving about it. So I just wanted to chime in and to give a testimony to just the efficiency of using these two systems together. It works without a hitch. We've not had any glitches or trouble at all in the process. It's truly amazing what our clients are, the kind of efficiency they're realizing right now.
Yeah, and you know, quite honestly, if you go to my blog, I've written case studies about firms that have worked with us. You know, I wrote one a couple months ago, I guess, about a guy out in San Francisco, Phil Benson, who is 64 years old. That's what impressed me so, because here he is. He's older. Most 60-year-olds, a lot of them are scared of the internet. Philip Benson is embracing the internet. Philip Benson only got into the advisor business in 2000. And so he's been in the business only for a decade, and he is fully embracing technology. And what he said is that it's basically saving him and his associate a day and a half every month now. Every quarter, that is, I'm sorry. So, you know, the thing is that you can batch load any type of document that you batch process now. Could, you know, say you get brokerage statements, you can actually batch upload it to the vault. And advisors have many different kinds of documents. The vault's going to automatically notify your clients. It's going to, we have a template email system that you could sync up with your workflows. Strong passwords, you know, are self-managed, so they're forced. So there is no choice. You know, it's built for advisors assisted. In other words, it's industrial strength. You don't have to worry about configuring it to make it do the security that you need. This comes with all of that. You can share documents with lawyers, but the thing is, you have certain granularity where you could share, and you could use this like if you're doing some sort of family office business also. We see firms that are using the vault so that they, grandpa doesn't want to share everything with the grandchild. So they can, they can see their trust maybe, but not all of the assets. Clients can also upload documents. So can outside professionals. And you have great granularity in the permissions that you give different people. What we're working on now is actually tracking Form ADV delivery. But, let me just go right into showing you what this looks like. And there are lots of videos on our website that show this, but I'll just show it real quickly. So this is a fake advisor website. I'm going to show you a couple of things here because I'll make a couple of points. And this website is actually pretty inexpensive to produce, quite frankly. We do a website like this for about $1,500. And you could, I would suggest that you, instead of stock photos like this, you could make the photos more personal. Just bring in a photographer and get a photographer to take photos of you, or maybe someone on your staff. But you really want professionally shot photos. These panoramic photos work really well. But when I say take photos of you, I mean of you talking with clients, of you and your staff speaking, sitting around a table perhaps. You want candid shots and things like that. But, there are so many ways that you could go with these panoramic sorts of graphics. And just want to call your attention to a couple of things here. One is that you got the Vault access down here, sign up for our email newsletter. These are all things that you want to prompt people to do, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But I want to show you a couple of things here. One is that the Vault is right over here. So somebody clicks on Client Vault, takes them right over to your Vault page, which is branded to your firm. And then you just fill in your password. Oops, I do that with my fingerprint, believe it or not. There's the Vault, and you can see how fast that loads. And this is what you get when you get AssetBook now. We're doing that integration so that this comes with AssetBook. So this is just the document view, and you could choose this to be your home page. The other thing you could do is make the unread files the home page, so that somebody sees all of the latest things that you've posted. Over here, this is portfolio reports. And this is what the AssetBook interface looks like. And so this client has about $289,000 in 3 accounts. Here's one of the accounts. And this is how it breaks down. You can reorder this report by clicking any of the column headings. You can export this report over to Excel. One of the really cool things that you could do is, if you do individual securities and you click on, say, Merck, you get this boatload of data about Merck. So you get press releases, news, podcasts. And, this is all, the quote, the stock quote is 20-minute delayed. But the news is, this is just today's news on Merck. So, this really represents just a whole new way of communicating with clients, the SEC filings. And, chances are they don't need the SEC filings. But by presenting this data, it makes a statement about how you're doing business and what you're doing. These 8 tabs, by the way, now, and this is an HTML report. Many other systems allow PDF reports. But what we've done with AssetBook is enable HTML reports. And that's a beautiful thing. So, you can, in other words, and that's why you can click on links, and you're going to be able to see all of the data associated with different links. And so, like over here where we have this realized gain loss report, all these things that are underlined, you can actually drill down and see what's inside all these positions. Just, you can either click on it or do expand all. So
right there, Andrew, we're looking at individual tax lots, and that's coming right over from AssetBook transactions. And so you can see every single lot and when it was purchased. which is very cool. And you know, what I love about these reports is they're just very clean and straightforward and simple, something that I think clients can really wrap their arms around. There's a question here I wanted to, if it's okay, Andy, that one of our clients has asked. Says, this is from Lauren Prince, a really good friend of mine, and been a client for a couple of years now. And she says she has clients in their 30s and 40s who still want paper statements. How do I discourage this without having the client feel uncomfortable? Do you have any ideas on that question?
Great question. You know, if, like I said, I did this case study, and what we've learned from doing this is doing small groups is best. So Philip Benson, okay, Philip Benson has 40 or so clients. And what he told me was he did 10 clients at a time, that he put them on the vault. Now the vault automatically, when you create a client vault, notifies the client by email and tells them to log in. And he has 24 hours to use a temporary password and rename that temporary password, and then it expires. What Philip did was he used a report that I could show you in a minute that comes in the vault that allows you to see who's logged in. So he could see who's not logged in. And because he has the list of the 10. And those people who don't log in, he called them and said, what happened? I sent you the portfolio report and you didn't look at it. So by doing that and, you know, taking the time initially to get people started, he had 38 of his 40 clients signed up and now logging into the vault and using it. So that's one thing. The other thing that we've learned is advisors who say, number one, this is more secure. Having paper reports in the mail, paper reports in the office is less secure than having it uploaded to the web. And also it's just more efficient. For us to do business, we need to be efficient. You could tell the client. And so what we've seen some advisors simply do is say, this is what we're doing now. And so, you know, you do get resistance, and there will be some people who simply say no. But if you stick to your guns, if you follow up and work with the client to show them how to do it, then they should adopt. Now the other thing is, if you don't want to train your clients, you can hire us. We'll actually do that for your clients. So, you know, I think we charge $1,000 and you get 10 hours of where we'll train your clients for 10 hours or 12 hours, which, you know, is a real, I think it's a real low price because it takes that burden off of you. If we have to, we will do a join me session or a go to meeting session so that we could see their desktop and teach them how to do this. And so, you know, some advisors may like that approach. You know, you could be on the phone while we're talking to your clients if you want. You know, but my staff is great. And by the way, everything that we do here is encrypted. We cannot actually see the data that's on our system. So I just want to be clear about that.
Andy, I wanted to just put something you said really is an excellent point in terms of encouraging your clients to go this route and giving them a good reason to do it. I think that security, it's so important, and to make sure that, first of all, they understand the type of techniques that are being used to keep that this data is safe and secure, the encryption factor, so that your client feels 100% sure that the only eyes that are going to see these documents and this information are yours, the advisor, and theirs, and the collaboration of share. I definitely can see why this is much more secure than sending statements through the mail. I definitely can see that. You know, things can get lost in the mail. They do all the time, and you know, nothing is going to get lost here. It's everything about this website as well as AssetBook is equally as safe as the sites that you and your clients log in to access their Schwab or Fidelity or TD Ameritrade accounts, as well as their bank accounts. Same encryption techniques, same security measures are taken to make sure the safety and security is there. So in an area that, you know, in a time that there's so much identity theft and those sorts of things going on, that is a really, really good reason to switch, I believe, and an encouraging argument. And I think that for your clients that are online, once they get into the vault and they start to be familiarizing themselves with it, they're going to have a lot of fun with this, and they're going to get used to it. And hey, if they want to print it out, they can print it, right?
Absolutely. The other thing is that, you know, we're showing you the HTML report. Please keep in mind you can also do a PDF report. So, you know, you could turn off, say, performance if you don't want to show performance, by the way. Any of these tabs, you have the ability to turn off and not show. So, you know, just one thing to keep in mind, and you know, you could configure it in that way. Over here, where we have, I think I showed this, where we have the different folders, you could create these template folders, and I'll show you that in a second. Your clients or other advisors you work with can upload very easily anything, you know. So I just clicked on browse, and now I can upload a document right up into the system. Shared documents is a nice, easy way to share a document across all, you know, maybe your newsletter or other forms that you have, you can share. So, and the client has video help over here that, you know, shows them how to do the basic things. Very, very simple. But all of this it's really pretty intuitive. The other thing I want to show you, I'm going to log out of here, is I just want to show you real quick. You know, when you come to, you know, this website, you click, say, on News and Ideas here. Because while we're going into the back office, I want to show you this. This is a content. This is content that we produce. Some of you maybe, hopefully, are familiar with Fritz Meyer, an economist, and used to be senior investment strategist over at Invesco, and he's really a great guy and brilliant. And he does webinars with us every month, and we distribute slides that he produces every month. We distribute them for $300 a year. You get his slides. We do the same thing with Bob Keebler, who is known for educating accountants and attorneys on estate planning and IRAs and really financial planning for high net worth individuals. And so we distribute their slides, and you can purchase all 12 of their slideshows for a year for $25 a month it comes to. It's like nothing. The idea is for you to be able to create your own content. Because I'm getting in now to talking to content, because I want to show you not just the efficiency side of what we're doing for clients, but I also want to show you how you can market better and get closer with clients and draw new business. And so one of the things that I really like about what we're doing is we're now taking some of Fritz's content and turning it into videos that we present. So I'm just going to play this one really quick for you. And
so in the short term, for example, during the tech bubble, that, by the way, spent 7 years winding up. So these things are long.
Can you guys hear that?
These psychology shifts in the market can last many, many years. It took 7 years for the market to finally reach the ridiculous valuation heights that we saw in the year 2000. And you can see
I can't go full screen.
So well,
Go to meetings and let me.
The gap between the stock price index and underlying earnings. In other words, that gap is a representation of how extraordinarily overvalued stocks became. And again, that's why we spent 12 years going nowhere in the S&P 500 price index.
So, what we're doing there is helping advisors with really intelligent content. I mean, the content that we're producing is very timely. For instance, we have a video here and a story about year-end tax planning that went up in the past, couple of weeks based on, a Keebler presentation. Information about the 3.8% surtax. These are very topical, timely stories. We're getting new ones up monthly. These are all FINRA reviewed, by the way. And, and the other thing I want to call your attention to is that what we're doing here now is we're creating these calls to action. So over here you can have some clever little offer. Could be a series of white papers about very specialized things, maybe about, creating ILITs or crummy trusts, or creating, different sorts of sophisticated financial planning techniques or investment ideas. And you ask that people give you their email and their name. You can ask for their phone number as well, and it turns into a contact for you or a lead. You can also have your social media icons on these pages. But the point is, I'm going to show you how all this comes together. So you are having this call to action on the content pages. Okay, so that's what I want you to keep in mind. And now I'm going to go into where you control your website. It's a content management system. I'm using actually our older content management system. It's been around for many years, and this one actually works with for registered reps. RIAs now, we built a new system that's based on open source. It's very similar in functionality, but it makes website building much easier and allows us to easily incorporate the latest and greatest new things into websites. So I just want you to see here. I just showed you that news and ideas page where we had that article. And over here, I think, it was about stock valuations. All of these little icons mean that there's a video associated with that article. So you can read the article over here just by clicking on it and see the FINRA letter. But what we recently rolled out is this social media dashboard. So I want you to just take a look at that real quick. That social media dashboard, when I click on it, you can see it with one story. We're writing 3 tweets, which are also FINRA reviewed, by the way. So these are the 3 tweets we wrote for that story. If you want to tweet out that story as a status update, you click on it over here and it populates this box. It puts in a shortened bit.ly link. The bit.ly link, of course, these links can be 50, 60, 70 characters long. But this is automatically posting that link, and it's making it about 15 characters long. I just copied and pasted that link. I'm going to copy and paste that link and put it into the browser here. I want you to just see, it takes you back to your site to read that article. So you can tweet out any of these stories. They link back to your website. You put in your Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter credentials, your password and user ID. You do that one time. And then you could use, just with that one time, you could come in here and tweet out any article. So you would just come in here, click on social media. You'll see all of the articles that are available from your website right now that you can tweet. So let's say you want to tweet about this one. Navigate, let me just go like this so you can see more of it. So you want to tweet that article, so you could just click over here on the radio button. The tweets appear over here on the right. and the pre-written tweet goes out. Now, the other thing that you could do here is you can rewrite the tweet. So if you are targeting doctors in Phoenix, you put in those keywords. That actually will help you with search engine optimization. Just having your keywords in your tweets. Google's algorithm considers your social media content like this, which is really cool. So the other thing is that you can schedule these tweets. So you come in here once a month or once a week, you do what I just showed you, you schedule them, you rewrite them, and they'll go out automatically. And your social network people see them. So we've only rolled this out recently. It was in beta for 3 months. An advisor in Waco, Texas, Charlie Jones, was so excited he sent me his Google Analytics statistics. And I've written a blog about it, and you could go to my blog and look at this. But what he basically showed us was that his site visits go up 200 to 500% on days when he uses this.
That's incredible.
I know. So
yeah.
We figured out a way to make it really easy for advisors to use, to dip their toe and learn about social media. That's what's important there. I'm really proud of that one. And so please, you got to check that out, because nobody's doing anything like that I know of.
Andy, is this sort of a, how does this work with, so this sort of comes along with the website that would be developed by your firm for advisors?
Yeah, this comes with it comes with our Platinum package. So, when an advisor buys a Platinum package from us, which includes, that actually, we give the interface free to your guys then, it's $23.37 a year. They get a ton of stuff. I mean, we're charging too little for it, quite frankly. But just to show you what they get, we have it, where's the page here? It's on my website. Oh, if you go into products, websites and portals, and then say you go to designer website or custom, doesn't matter, then it's going to take you to over here where it says Platinum Annual License. So you get website archiving automated, you get Advisor Vault, you get all this stuff. There's a lot. We also, by the way, with Fritz Meyer, we have something called panic protection, and should there be a 10% correction in the market, Fritz provides an additional session. And we did one of those because we did have a 10% correction over about, in June or so, and it was amazing how many people showed up, how many advisors. So you could check that out. But that's a very good service for advisors to use, is knowing that we're going to give you the talking points for dealing with those corrections. So that's okay. The other part actually that I didn't show you was the vault. The control for the vault is over here for advisors. Okay, so now I'm logged in as an advisor, and you can add clients very easily just by clicking Create Client. You can also batch upload clients, and you can associate a client with a particular professional, an attorney or a lawyer. You can add professionals the same way. It's just, you fill in these fields, and that's it. But the other thing you could do is there are email templates. So this is just a communication module that's meant to go with the Vault. And this communication module, every time you upload a document, it can automatically send an email that you've created. So every time you upload a document, for instance, it's going to send this email. It's kind of like a mail merge from Word, and it gives the client the link, and by checking off, those are my dogs, I apologize, by checking off that you want it automated, it will automatically take that action. And you could preview the message and run a test message very easily if you want to. So if you want to preview it, it's right there, and you could send a test email to yourself before sending it. So that comes in real handy, and that'll go directly, it'll look like it's coming from you directly, by the way, and it will be, if you have email archiving, it will be sent to your email archive system. The other thing I should mention real quick, there's so much to cover here, is if you do need social media archiving because of the social media app that we have, you can also, we have that, and just go to my website and look under compliance tools and you'll find the social media information. But just real quick, just want to show you that. Here's the, the user log information, and you can actually see when clients logged in, what documents they've looked at, what files they've read. You can also create template folders. So if you want to create a template folder, you can create a folder for all of your clients. This is the structure now. But you're able to create a folder. Let's say, you've got 200 client vaults, and you want to add a folder for insurance to all of them at once. This is the way that you would do that. You would add a folder to all of them. You can also go in and individually create special folders for certain clients if you want. Let's see some of the other features that we should probably cover.
Andy, and just to if you go back, can you go back to the template there? I just wanted to let, with the folder template specifically, what I wanted to just mention is that that is all customizable by firm. So this directory of directories is 100%, this is just an example, just in case that wasn't clear. And everybody's a little bit different how they want to set that up, with the exception of the investments folder, because that's where the AssetBook stuff goes. So everything else is basically can be eliminated and made completely your own.
Yes, good point. And you could make the home page, the AssetBook report, you can make the home page, the unread documents, you could make it, you have a lot of freedom on what you're doing there. And you can have multiple advisors. So we were looking at A. Gluck, who was the advisor. And then over here you have J. Smith was the client that we looked at, and this is that client's folders. Our staff is here to help you with this stuff, and Rob's staff is doing support as well. But there's all the key functions are covered in videos. We really don't have much, trouble with supporting this product, quite frankly, because it's pretty intuitive and straightforward. Let's see. So so there's a lot more that I could cover over here. One of the email templates, by the way, which I'm just glad we have it here, is if you want to reset all your client passwords, you just go in here and you can batch reset all client passwords. It sends the client the URL, and it tells me it's 24 hours. So that's those are the main features of the Vault. I'll show you one other platform that we have that's even more advanced. And this is the next step for advisors that want to go here. And some advisors, it's interesting because like I was showing an advisor. He's pretty sophisticated technology-wise. I showed him our system for the Vault, and then I showed him this. And this guy, he was actually Chief Information Officer, Chief Technology Officer at a large mutual fund company. and now he became an advisor. And when he saw this system, our client portal system, he jumped out of his chair and said, this is what I wanted. So everybody reacts differently to this, to be honest with you. So some people think that it's like it's way too advanced for them, but others say, this is what I'm looking for. So what this is, this over here, this has interfaces with lots of different apps, okay? And you, of course, would have the AssetBook interface, which is down here, there. And so this gives you a snapshot of your holdings. And then up here you have the vault. So everything that's in the vault would also be here. But what really is cool about this is, one of the cool things, where it says My To-Dos here, this is integrated with different CRM systems. So let's say you're using Salesforce, Redtail, or Ebix. You put in to-dos for a client. You assign a client to-dos. They show up over here. And the client has to take care of those things. And you could discuss them. So these links over here go to a page where those to-dos can be discussed. If you want, you can make the default tab completed to-dos. So the client, every time he logs in, will see all the things that you've done for him over the past year. And if you want to turn it on, you can have the client be able to assign you to-dos. Over here, all of these pieces, by the way, can be dragged and dropped and moved around. So, you know, it's kind of like iGoogle or MyYahoo, this page. This content here is content that we produce, but this is all personalized to each client. All of the personal finance content is personalized to each client based on his profile. And the way that's done is you click on Manage. Right now I have General Profile, but if we choose Business Owner, Update Profile, it's going to change the content. And then the other thing that you have here is the ability to give the client, this is an interface with Laser app. So if you're using the desktop version of Laser app, you could ask the client to fill in. These are all the main fields that are in Laser app. They cover a lot. You know, it's like the main fields that you're going to have. The client can input that data, and that will then, you could then port that into your other systems in Laser app. And then the other neat little thing here is we can have and client can say, I want to refer a friend to you. And he can click on invite a friend. It will create this template email that goes to your friend and introduces him to you and gives him a free portal where you can then collect data about that prospect. You won't know who that prospect is until he logs in, and then you're given his information, his contact information. So you know, this stuff is you know, we put out the system, like I said, 5 years ago, and you know, and then we had the market crash and the economic collapse, and so people were, quite frankly, kind of distracted. Now we're seeing advisors say, yeah, this is what I've been looking for. So, and that's going to make you much more efficient, being able to have this to-do system. We have advisors using this that swear by it because it helps them organize their practice, sole practitioners especially. Rob,
I have a quick question. With if you go back down to where the personalized articles come in, How does that work? I noticed some key words there. So kind of based on the profile, it's putting some key words. Can you tell me, where's it gathering those articles from?
Yeah, we tag all of our articles, and I want to cover one more thing before we leave. But we tag all of our articles with these keywords. So if you're a client and you want to get information about annuities, you could click over here on available keywords, and it just went over here to selected keywords, and that will then, articles tagged with annuities will then be incorporated in the content that the client sees.
Thank you.
And then you can also add feeds over here, so we have feeds for different topics, like, you know, if somebody's interested in keeping up with arthritis or whatever their interests are, you can have that. And you could add any feed by, you know, using this over here. You could name any feed. So if you, you know, have special feeds that you guys want to port into the client portal, you could use that. The one other thing I want to discuss real quick is search engine optimization. We're finding, you know, advisors are skeptical about search engine optimization, haven't really done it. We're having success with it. And we have created a system for doing it that is very inexpensive, where we write copy and produce search and optimize your website, which involves technical aspects, but also involves writing the copy. And we are having success with that. And what I like to do is teach advisors how to fish and teach advisors how to create their own search engine optimized content and help them get their strategy for doing that. But what I can show you is just last week, unsolicited, I got, you know, we got this at the end of producing a website, we do a survey of clients. This was what came back, was this advisor saying that she built her website several years ago for $10,000. Ours cost much less than that she built with us. And she was frustrated because she wasn't getting found on Google. And she said the website wasn't created overnight, but the Advisor Products team worked with us. And now she's on the first page of Google for her area. And you know, I'm just real proud of the way this is working out. The cost-benefit ratio of investing in a new site with Advisor Products is extremely positive. So, you know, that's the kind of work that I'm proud to say that we're doing, and it's catching on. People are seeing it, and there you go. That's my story.
Andy, I mean, this has been just incredibly helpful and informative, and you know, just really hits home on so many levels. The social media, I really think that and there's many advisors that are mutual clients that are realizing the benefits of the integration between our two products and also the other sort of services and products that you're offering. It's all great stuff, and I would encourage you all to learn more. Lots of stuff available on the website here for Andy, and of course I'm always here to, you know, fill you in on anything that I happen to know about. I know quite a bit about the Vault, so you know everybody knows where to find me. So I want to thank everybody for taking the time to listen in with us, and encourage you to email or call in with additional questions. And we're about out of time, so I will let you all go, and we'll look forward to talking to you soon.
Okay, Rob, thanks for the opportunity to let me speak to your clients, and to all of you out there. Thank you, and hopefully you know how to find us at advisorproducts.com, and give us a call, and we'll help you.
Yeah, Andy.
Thanks again, Rob.
I really appreciate you doing this, Andy. Thank you so much for all this information.
Thanks a lot, Rob. It's always a pleasure.
You bet. Take care.